us runners get heckled a lot. It kind of comes with the territory of being a runner that you're probably going to get yelled at when you're out there. I know that over the 22 plus years that I've been running, I have gotten yelled at all the time. It's almost a constant. If I had a nickel for every time someone yelled, "Run, Forrest, run" at me, I'd probably have a couple dollars. And though that's more like the PG-13 thing that people can yell at me. I've had people tell me to put a shirt on, tell me to take a shirt off, tell me that my shorts are too short, ask me why I'm wearing my sister's shorts when I'm out there running. And those are just the appropriate taunts and heckles that I've gotten when I'm running. And I can handle that, and we all should be able to handle that as runners. We're mature. The rest of the public sometimes isn't. But what I can handle is when runners heckle themselves. It's when our self-talk gets so destructive that we become our own worst critic. And in this video, what I want to talk about are all those instances when we do become our own worst critic. And instead of heckling ourselves, we should instead be our own best cheerleader. So I want to talk more about how to do that in this video so that you can get your head on right when you're running, not heckle yourself so much, and instead have your own personal cheerleader telling you how great you are all the time on loop in your head. Now, runners do heckle themselves a lot. This is kind of comes with the territory of being a runner and just putting yourselves in all of the situations that we do as endurance runners. So some examples are, your alarm goes off in the morning and you say, "Oh, I don't want to get up. I'm not going to get up. I'm going to sleep in today." Or you're near the end of a race and you say, "I just don't know if I can do this." Or "I'm not going to kick hard. I'm going to coast, I'm going to maintain, but I just can't take it. I'm not going to try to sprint at the end of this race." Or maybe you say to yourself, and I know I do this all the time, "I'm not going to stay consistent with this week. I have too many things going on. I'm just going to wait until I get my ducks in a row, and then I'll be consistent next week with warming up for a run, doing my strength training, foam rolling, what have you." There are many ways in which, as runners, we get in our own way. We heckle ourselves so much that we then don't do the thing that we know is going to benefit us. And I can handle getting heckled out there on the road when I'm running, but it really irks me when runners heckle ourselves. So let's avoid this. Let's move away from being that negative Nancy in our own head. We should not criticize ourselves and instead be our own best cheerleader. I think that there's tremendous value in becoming your own best cheerleader, because essentially what we're talking about right now is your self-talk, the conversation that you have with yourself in your head before you go running and while you're running and after running. It's really how you think about yourself as a runner and how you think about your own running habit. So instead of constantly criticizing ourselves or heckling ourselves in the middle of a race, telling us that we can't do it, telling us that we're not fast enough, instead, let's shift our mindset. Let's shift our mindset so that we can become our own best cheerleaders. So instead of saying, "I can't do this," when you're sprinting hard at the end of a race and it doesn't feel good, you're feeling a lot of race-related pain and discomfort. Instead of saying that, you can shift to saying, "Wow, this hurts. That means I'm doing this racing thing right." When that alarm goes off in the morning and you don't want to get out of bed, instead of saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this workout. I would so much rather have an extra 45 minutes of sleep," instead say to yourself, "Yes, I get to get better today. I get to work on my running so that I can improve today." Or maybe when you're at the end of a race and it starts to hurt, instead of saying, "I can't do this," you can say to yourself, "I can do this and I will do this just like the other 500 times I've already tried." Or maybe there's a huge hill on your typical long run route that you just curse out every time because it comes near the end and it's tiring. Instead of cursing that hill, maybe you think to yourself, "Yes, I get to run this big hill that is making me stronger. Hills give me strength, and strength is always a good precursor to speed. Rather than always putting off your run or delaying it until another day, instead, maybe you repeat to yourself the line that I'm always saying, consistency is my secret sauce. This is what's going to make me into a good runner. Now, what we've been talking about are essentially personal affirmations. These are things that you say to yourself to be your own best cheerleader, to help yourself instead of criticize yourself, actually cheer yourself on and support yourself. These are the things that you would like a supportive coach or teammate or friend to say to you when you are doing something stressful. These things should be supportive, they should be positive, and they should put you in a good frame of mind to continue pushing forward. In effect, these personal affirmations are essentially mantras. They can be words, phrases, or sentences that you say to yourself over and over again to help you get out of those difficult situations. And when you are in those difficult situations, to get the most out of yourself so that you can have a great performance. Now, personal affirmations or mantras can seem a little woo-woo. If you've never done any sports psychology work, it does seem like something that you don't really have to do. If you're training for a marathon, you have to do the long runs, right? If you're training for a 5K, you have to do the workouts if you want to run well. Mantras and personal affirmations are not necessary. You don't have to do these. But nevertheless, we ignore the most important organ in our body, our brain, at our peril. In a sport like endurance running, where unlike other sports like football or rock climbing or baseball, where you are actively trying to avoid pain, in a sport like running, you're actively trying to experience more and more pain. That's the beauty of running. The more you can endure, the better you're going to be. And these mantras, these personal affirmations, are sort of like training for your brain. And if we don't train our brain, if we ignore it, our mental toughness, our confidence, and our ability to focus will suffer and atrophy. So I don't want that to happen to you, so let's get in the habit of regularly training our brain and using personal affirmations when you do experience stress in your running is an incredible way of moving away from that very good habit that we have as runners of always criticizing ourselves. And so I do believe very strongly that mantras or personal affirmations are an effective way of you moving away from that critical, negative frame of mind and instead moving into a much more productive, positive mindset. Because those words, phrases, or sentences will help you. They will help you in the moment, and over time, you will start having more confidence before you even start that long run workout or race. Now, if you don't know what kind of mantra or personal affirmation to use, I've created a bank of 10 of my personal favorites. These are chosen not because they work personally for me, I've already shared some of those with you, but these actually work for most runners. I've also included when you can use them in your training, because sometimes mantras and these affirmations are great for before a workout or maybe when you're standing on the starting line of a race. But sometimes they are best used when you are just a half a mile from the finish line of a race. And the thing to remember is that what works for me may not work for you, which may not work for that dude over there. So experimentation is key. Find a bunch of mantras. Use our list that we have. There's a link underneath this video that you can get it. And experiment. Find what resonates with you. Find what lights you up. Because when you are in the moment, when you are experiencing discomfort, when you are experiencing pain, and you want to not experience those things, these affirmations can help you stay positive. They can help you proactively focus on problem solving in the moment rather than on telling yourself you can't do this, and you will be a better runner for it.